Ramble.
So, Mike, big question for Miles.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, big question. We're just starting out with a big question for
Yeah.
Miles.
This is breaking news. This is actually, I'm asking the hard-hitting questions. When you burp, is it for comedic effect or is it because you have to burp?
Because you have a signature.
Maybe at one point it was for comedic effect.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like wearing a backwards cap.
Yeah.
Might have been sort of funny at a time.
Or ironic.
For ironic reasons. And now I believe it is just a part of my repertoire.
Uh-huh. It's part of the brand.
But I think that also it's about me having acid reflux low-key.
Low-key.
And I think that it's also that I need to dispel gas.
Do you take anything for the reflux?
I haven't taken any reflux for my reflux, but I believe that it's not really triggered by much. It's just sort of carbonated beverages have an immediate need to belch, but I think that's almost all people, no?
That's why I don't drink carbonated beverages anymore, because I burp from water. I burp from...
Whoa.
I will wake up in the morning.
And burp?
I've had no liquids in the last 8 hours. And I will burp.
You had baking soda and vinegar the night before.
Well, of course, I did. I always do a little bedtime volcano experiment.
You had Mentos and Coke.
I think burping is more feminine than farting.
Put that on a T-shirt. Burping is more feminine.
You think that I don't?
Because I never burp, but I do, and I hate to say this, I do fart sometimes.
So isn't
But I was
farting?
always-
Isn't farting more feminine?
No, I feel like it's. I always wish I burped instead of farted.
I actually disagree, Rainie, and I hate to say it because we're talking about a gender binary here, but I believe a little fart could be very feminine. I believe it could be extremely feminine.
The crazy thing about farts is that sometimes
we're really going in at first.
Sometimes you think it's going to be a tiny little fart, and it packs a punch. And it's like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
Like the air molecules that came out of me, so few, and yet so many.
I've learned, Keith, just to know that even if I loaded the gun, I'm never firing blanks.
I mean, when was the first time you
fart.
farted in front of Becky?
In front of Becky?
Yeah.
Still haven't.
No
No,
way.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Of course, that'd be crazy.
I mean,
some couples don't, and I consider that to be psycho.
we try not to fart on each, if it's basically if we're both on the couch and I really really have to fart, I'll just go walk down the hall or I'm going to grab a glass of water and I'll just fart like crazy in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to fart here.
Right.
Yeah.
You consider it to be polite.
Now,
to
if
fart
I think
in.
it's not going to be so bad, I might try to get away with one.
Yeah, I've never gotten away with it.
Welcome to the Dialogue. We're going to the abandoned zoo, Los
Try and kick
Angeles
us out
Zoo.
of that.
Try and kick us out of that.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
Yeah, there's no security.
There's no security. It's abandoned.
It's an abandoned zoo in a national park.
Yeah, and here's the mystery: we're sleuths. I think Keith, Miles, Rainie, instead of Zerimiles is like Sleuth Town.
We're sleuths.
Operation Sleuth.
All right, in sleuth sounds.
A special animated special of the Adventure Podcast.
That's right, exactly.
That would be so cool.
Now, what's literally good with you guys lately? Because, first of all, you might notice in my voice that Miles' voice is a little nasally.
Oh, I didn't.
I didn't. You sound
sniffling?
exactly the same.
Well, no, I had a cold about 2 weeks ago, and I just have a lingering sort of voice difference. But I'm over it in other ways. You don't feel like my voice is a little different?
Nah.
I can hear myself like I'm listening to a podcast.
Oh.
Almost as my voice is echoing through my sinus.
No,
Well,
it's because
maybe
your
it
ears
is.
are probably clogged, so
That
it
could
sort
be
of
it.
feels like it's trapping it.
Oh, did you fly recently?
I did fly, but that wasn't a problem.
Did you pop your ears?
I did. And actually, my baby was on the plane, and he popped his ears as well. Did not have a problem, which some babies freak out.
Oh, yeah. I remember as a child, even when I was not a baby, like an 8 or 9-year-old, it was excruciating to be on the plane. Now, I had a bunch of ear problems. I had tubes in my ears
And
as a
then
baby.
your ear blew up.
My eardrum has broken before. I've got sensitive. Unfortunately, and I hate to admit it, having a thin eardrum, the medical term is you have flaccid eardrums.
Yeah.
And that's an embarrassing word.
Sorry, Keith.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Keith.
It's a medical issue, but they didn't have to do it like that.
Right? They could have said thin.
Thin. Flaccid is like...
Thin. Flaccid
Flaccid
does
isn't
not
rude.
imply thin
No.
in any other context of the word flaccid. In fact, there's only one other context of the word flaccid I've ever heard.
About a penis?
And it's penile.
It's penile.
It's penile.
Penile flaccidity, guys. Let's talk about it.
You know what? Let's talk about. The word penis sounds so vulgar, But
Penis?
it's not. No, pianist.
Oh,
it's actually a very
pianist.
beautiful
Pianist.
position to
It's
be
very,
in.
well, I would say penises can also be very beautiful.
Yeah.
Not as beautiful as penis.
Both.
Not
both. They can all
Although
be
maybe.
beautiful.
We're going to play a
Yeah.
game called Penis or Pianist.
We're going to play a little sound sample. You tell me if that sample
Piano.
is a piano or a dong.
I'll play the first sound sample. That's
Pianist,
a pianist. Is it a penis clap? Is it a pianist clapping or a penis clapping?
Don't say clapping.
From doing a
Because then
dong
you think
opera.
of the
The
medical
STI.
STI.
That's right.
Or STD is STI. It's
clap
STI.
because of the clapping.
The clap. So now we're driving by the new zoo, which brings us to our mystery.
Yeah, what's the mystery?
What
why?
Was the zoo abandoned?
Yeah.
That's a good
Why
question.
is this position better than the old position? And so I think we want to just walk around and see what's wrong with the first location.
It's true crime in a lot of ways.
Oh my
Rainie,
gosh.
have you ever been to the abandoned
I
zoo?
have. I actually went also yesterday to scout it out. Flex actually produced this.
And
Wow.
hashtag that's a work trip.
And that's going to be on the company for the company.
And you had
but-
to stop at the Chinese buffet, obviously, to get a little lunch because you're a little hungry on the company.
Making
for
sure
the
there was no new security guard who
Yeah.
didn't allow filming.
Well,
Rainie's
yeah.
camped out in this man zoo all night. To just sort of it was
binoculars.
A stakeout. Yeah.
A stakeout? Podcast at a stakeout?
So funny. By the way, to podcast is a stakeout outside of Keith doesn't like pranks, so it'd be us with Keith outside of Zach's house staking
Yeah.
out is so funny. Just to be like, okay, we're staking out Zach's house. We're gonna see if he leaves to go to get lunch.
Or we could go outside that high schooler's house again, like that one time.
Oh, yeah.
I think that if we
miss him.
stake out a high schooler, we may have some legal problems.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But in a lot of ways, we were just sort of staking him out.
Yeah, well, it was an accident.
Yeah.
It was an accidental stakeout. We should do a
Accidental
steak
stakeout.
house.
Oh, podcast at Steakhouse.
Yeah.
I will say that, I mean, doing a stakeout is like mostly about the snacks, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, the snacks and the tunes.
And if you're Castle and Beckett, you're falling in love.
Castle. From the
Ca-
show Castle?
Yeah, from the titular character
Nathan
Castle.
Fillion?
Nathan Fillion. Did you watch
Yeah.
Big Mouth?
Okay.
Okay, that's okay.
I didn't watch
move
all
on.
of it.
I watched most of it.
I liked it.
It's fun.
I liked it.
I
It's
liked
fun.
it too. Well, I liked the first few seasons.
I don't know how many seasons they made. I only watched the first two, I think.
Yeah, those were the golden years of Big Mouth.
What do you guys think,
really
audience? Audience, let us know in
Audience,
the comments below how many seasons
Big
of Big Mouth. I'm really chasing this microphone today.
I'm sorry, Keith. Honestly, it's nice to be out in nature.
I know Griffith Park is really startlingly hilly, which I didn't expect. When I moved to Los Angeles, I was thinking, okay, park. I'm picturing Central Park.
Now.
Yeah,
And
you
Griffith
thought-
Park
right.
is like a hiking trail system.
It's beautiful. It's huge.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting people at the park today, huh?
Are we going to a zoo or are we going to a people zoo?
People
where
zoo.
people
In
where
a
we're
lot of
watching
ways,
people.
An office building is a zoo.
Oh yeah.
Comment below.
I kind of parked however I wanted, I guess, but so is everybody else in this slot.
It's kind of there's
nobody
a lot
here.
of spots
There's
available.
nobody here today.
There's a lot of spots available. So,
All right.
Rainie, what do you? And let's look at what is everyone looking to get out of the experience of being at the abandoned zoo?
Ooh.
Well, so the first time I ever came here,
Yeah.
I was with Chris Heinecker. It was during an episode of Chicken Watch,
Really?
and we found that you can really clamber around in some areas that don't feel
Yes.
safe.
Yes.
So I'd like to do that again.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I actually was wondering, are we gonna have the guts to do it?
I mean, there's children always climb around back there.
That's
I know,
right.
but it's spooky.
It
There's
definitely,
ghosts for
it's
sure
100%
in those cages.
spooky town.
You think it's haunted up there?
with animals?
Maybe not. I don't even know about animals. I just think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why?
Have you been, Miles?
I have.
When did you go?
I went a couple of years ago. I scouted. Well, first of all, me, Keith, and Zach recorded something at one of these picnic tables, like right
over
there.
yeah.
And it was one of the first plogs, which
Yeah.
was a
Sponsored.
segment.
It was like, get out there and enjoy nature.
Yeah,
And
for
it
a brand.
changed our
Oh.
lives.
It changed our lives, and we were like, that was so fun. We should be doing this more often. And then we didn't. And then me, you, and Zach went to coffee that one time. And then we were like, oh, remember when we
Oh,
did this
yeah.
before? And then we really liked it. But yeah, no, I think that this is also the type of place I would come if I was a high schooler and I was looking to park my car so I could bang in the back.
You know people have had sex in these little places we're about to go climb around in.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
to me, it's
You
just...
know it, Rainie.
As a high schooler, the only thing I was thinking was, where can me and my high school girlfriend park the car so we can kind of diddle in the back?
Yeah, so you can fool
Wow.
around.
Did I tell you guys one time that cops came?
Yeah, you have told us that. It's pretty thrilling.
Well, maybe it was 100 episodes ago, though.
That's
so.
true. I bet someone listening now is like, go on.
Long story short, we were diddling in the back in a park and ride of my Volvo during the daytime, and the cops came.
During the daytime?
That's risky business.
Afternoon delight.
Was it after school or Saturday?
It was
where were
Saturday.
you?
What?
Where what was the car? Where was the car?
The car was in the back of a giant parking lot, parked away, so the trunk was facing the woods.
You were in the
Trunk of the Volvo.
It was a station wagon.
You were in
wagon.
the
I was like,
trunk?
It was a station wagon, so
It's
the
different
seats
than-
go
it's a
down.
hatchback.
It was not a hatchback. It was a
Oh.
trunk. Like,
That's
it was
really
a trunk.
convenient.
we were in the trunk. Totally. I don't know how anyone
in
heard
the
us.
trunk.
That's a good place to have sex because no one will ever see you.
That's exactly
if you can
right.
both fit.
If you can fit. And then you also have to be able to open from the inside.
Most of them have the emergency pull now.
Or shoot through the seats in the front.
right.
And did you get that car specifically because you were like,
No, it's just the car we had, but I do love a Volvo station wagon. Anyway, the long story short is he was like, "Get out of the car, give me your license." And I was like, and he was like, "Tell the young lady to get dressed." And I was like, "Okay, officer." Because they were just bored and they heard
yeah,
the
ain't
thing. They
nothing
were
to
like,
do.
"Paging Doctor 911. We've got a couple.
got a situation.
We got a situation.
We got a code pianist over here.
We got a code penis." Unfortunately, yeah, it would be fun for us all to have walkie-talkies all the time.
oh,
The
I
walkie-talkie
wish.
pod where we just
We're so
have.
at each other's at our houses.
But we have like all of because do they have like do they send out can a walkie-talkie like record the receiving
You must, yeah. You
a
probably
third
send it
yeah
line
you
out.
just have the fourth one or
Yeah.
the fifth one have an out port so we can record all walkie-talkie quality audio for the
So
podcast.
fucking funny. Also, it'd just be fun. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's what we could do for Candy Competition too. It's just we had a little wire. The first one was a
Oh.
Bluetooth, but to have a high tech like putting
Beep,
into
beep.
your thing.
What's your experience with walkie-talkies?
As a kid, I loved them, and me and my friend were like, "We're gonna give each other walkie-talkies, and we talk all the time." And it was like they don't
Aw.
reach to where my house is. My house is forever in the woods.
Yeah, and also the name walkie-talkie, adorable.
Yeah.
Walkie,
Talkie.
Walkie-talkie.
You can't-
It's kind of the first cell phone. I mean, I had them in Colorado for like skiing and like mountain stuff because there's no cell service. So
Right.
my parents would gift me or let me
a
borrow
short-range
they'd
radio.
a
say,
walkie-talkie
you
for
have this, and you
safety.
can call us if you get into trouble.
Yeah, I had a whistle and a walkie-talkie. Set me out in the
Whoa.
woods with a whistle and a walkie-talkie.
But it's so fun. Like having a walkie-talkie and people to talk to. Like,
Yeah.
it's too fun.
But when I was little, I didn't know that if you're still holding down on talk, the other person can't talk. You have to
that's right.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I'm lost, I can't. And then my mom was kind of trying to like reach me, but since I have the thing, and
You
I
were
was-
just
yeah.
mashing down the scream button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were lost.
It had to be under 5 minutes, but I have a memory of it. Like
Oh
it
my
was very
God.
scary.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there's something nice about like going into the middle of the woods with a walkie-talkie. Honestly, good Try Guys video. Getting lost in the woods and then you have to escape. We blindfold you, put you in the woods, but you have a walkie-talkie.
Just try guys get out of the forest.
Get out of the forest challenge is really good.
First to get out of the forest. I put these guys 5 miles into the forest. Going one direction is 5 miles out. Going the other direction is 35 miles just deeper in.
What about hunting man for sport at Try Guys Challenge, where you give people Nerf guns or airsoft guns or paintball guns or something, and one person goes
Oh my
out
gosh.
and then they try to hunt them.
Very topical with the Hunger Games.
Very exactly. We
Yeah.
do Hunger Games in real life, by the way, Mr. Beast. Somebody call him.
Somebody call him.
Somebody call him on his walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Well, should we go into
I think
the?
we
Should we
got to
go?
check it out.
Should we go into the
All
forest?
right, we will see you in the zoo.
In the zoo. Everything but
Should we do a musical episode like how Riverdale did?
Oh, I really like that. It could be.
Just rolling like two of the same angle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Rainie is sort of having a panic that one of them is going to stop working, and I get her
Yeah.
fears, but
Implode.
I think, yeah,
Can
you're
we just real
worried-
quick, can we cut between the two angles just for the viewers at home?
And by the way, the difference is that one of them is like tilted, is like crooked.
One's just a little
One
worse.
is a little worse. Yeah.
We can fix that in post. Easy.
Easy picks. But also, yeah, you're just sort of worried that the GoPro's going to not run.
Of course. Aren't you?
Always.
I can't believe you are not more worried about that. Although,
Well, at this point, I'm a freelancer, so I'm sort of like,
yeah, but even
Let's
in
hope
your,
it works.
your tenure.
I would say that I was always worried it was going to stop working, but then at a certain point, I was like, if it was to stop working, it would be an act of God. It would no longer be my fault because I've done so many of these. that-
Random.
random. Guys, we're so random. Do you think we're so random on the pod?
Random.
Quasi was just talking about how he felt hurt. Somebody called him, was like demeaning him for being millennial.
Whoa.
Yeah, they did.
Quasi said that?
You know.
I mean, it is a little whack.
It's just a reminder of mortality, I think, at the end of the day.
That's right. And also that those kids are going to be roasted in about 7 years as well for being cringe.
Soon.
Oh, yeah.
And
For
it
all
just,
you're also
I think
not
the
gonna be
disco
cool
balls,
much
I'm sorry to
longer.
say.
Gen
the disco
Z,
balls,
your
I think.
time?
I think those are going to be the new, like, chuggy.
You don't like disco balls?
I love them. I just think that they're very of the time in the same way that Ugg boots were of
I
the
don't know.
time.
Did you see Barbie?
Disco balls are
Because
everywhere.
disco was all over that movie.
Well, also
All
disco
over.
balls. I would say it's funny for you to hear you say that they were of the time because when was disco sort of on the scene, Rainie?
The 70s, but
There you
everything
go.
comes right back
It
around.
does- and that is actually
Yeah.
very true, and I think it's all cyclical. But yet to be like, oh, that's so millennial is like, well, guess what? You're 14 is a little bit sometimes what the answer is.
Yeah, I mean, I did see. Speaking of Uggs, I saw yesterday.
Speaking of
I saw this girl wearing jorts and Uggs, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so comforted and seen."
Yeah.
and I want to go back. I want to be that girl again.
That was you. Jorts
I'm
and
trying to remember if I was
Uggs.
ballsy enough to do with
Jorts.
shorts. Definitely skinny jeans.
the full
and
jugs
Uggs.
outfit.
I think
jorts
skinny,
and Uggs.
skinny jeans with Uggs. Like, I get it, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But jorts with Uggs.
I don't think I was
you-
cool enough.
You had to really try to
Honestly,
put that outfit
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, jorts and Uggs. I remember in not forgetting Sarah Marshall. In I Love You, Man, Jason Segel wears Uggs, and I believe jorts, and he looks
Oh my
really good. He
God.
looks really good.
Honestly, I've never worn Uggs before.
I've always
I
wanted
think
to
you'll
wear
love
Uggs.
them.
but I
My
never-
dad is a
They're-
big man
They're
Uggs
foot
vibe.
mittens, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're just
fitteds.
cozy. They're slippers that you can wear outside. That
But
are
they're
boots.
boots.
They're sloots.
Sloops.
They're sloots.
I'm sort of in a
Don't
need.
call me a sloop. I'm right
to
here.
revolutionize my shoe game because these shoes are sort of I get one pair that are my ride or dies and then they disintegrate.
Right.
And you can see, Rainie, there's a little hole
And
there.
when did you get those actually?
These is like last Christmas.
We remember your old shoes.
Last Christmas, you
I
gave
gave you
me
my
some
heart.
shoes.
We've been on we've been at the place where your shoes are just totally broken and you've been wearing them. Remember
and Zach
that?
shamed
a
me
long time ago.
That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zach shamed me for my shoes. He said, "Wow, I really see your shoes." And then I got new shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Those went and broke, and then I got these, and then these have broken.
So what are you thinking for the shoes?
I would like to wear boots, brown leather
seem-
boots.
You're a boot
yeah.
boy.
Maybe chukkas. I've been through a phase where I was wearing brown leather boots and I really liked them, but then they sat in front of the heater and they shrunk, shrinky dink style.
That'll happen to your Crocs too. If you leave your Crocs all wet from the pool in the sun, they'll turn into size 10s.
You remember I boiled my Crocs.
Yes. I do. Hey, I'm ready to talk about boots. And it's time for me to get up here.
Hey, come on, Keith. Hop on the
Everybody
table.
moved up here.
New podcast
What
on
I
the table.
like about boots is how cool you look in them, how snug your feet feel. But I think that boots don't have as much support as a good sneaker, which is built to be, out in the world.
Boots are tight. They're taut.
They're tight and they're taut. They're tough.
They're tough. For tough
You can
people.
drop a hammer on them.
You can be a tough gal in a boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever worn a steel-toed boots? Those are heavy shoes.
I haven't, but they're a little intimidating to me.
Yeah.
Well, when I was an intern at a mining company, because my dad is a mining engineer, and I was an intern at his company.
Okay, we need to spend 30 minutes on that
Turn
at
in a
least.
mining company.
Yeah, I went into quarries in the Midwest, and I went and inventoried gigantic equipment.
Oh
Like
my
basically,
God.
so this company had lots of mines, and they would acquire new mines every so often.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, okay, this mine says that we're paying some kind of recurring tax machine. I don't know what kind of tax on these machines. So my office would be like, go and make sure they're still using those machines because we're paying for them. And if they're not using those machines, then we're going to sell them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't always trust the new mines that they bought.
Right.
To be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Got it.
So
Wow.
I would roll up, and because
It's an important job,
I'm like,
actually.
Yeah, really.
I'm 20. And I'm rolling up, and there's obviously mostly 40s and 50-year-old guys working there, big,
Miners.
strong men. But I show up, and I'm wearing like a button down and like have a clipboard, and they think I'm like MSHA, which is OSHA for mining. Mining is the only occupation
their
that
own.
has its own because mining is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So they're all terrified of me, and I'm like, no, can you help me find the serial number on this conveyor belt? But I'm like walking up like 4-story high.
Oh my gosh.
Machinery, like, because what happens?
Yeah.
What's cool about mine? Like, you go to quarry, that's like the stuff that makes like that, or
Yeah.
that's asphalt, but like sidewalks.
Yeah.
crushed up limestone. So you go to the top, and they're putting in big boulders. The big boulders smash in what's called a crusher. That goes down to a shaker belt. The shaker belt separates the different size of the rocks, and the ones that are too big, they go to a different crusher. And then they get series of crushed rocks until there's big different piles of different grade of size of rock, from dust to pebble to stones to whatever. And they go on big conveyor belts, and they're moving all over the place, and everything is covered in dust.
Of course.
Rock dust.
Yeah.
You're just breathing in dust. Sometimes you're wearing masks even, and glasses and a hard hat and steel-toed boots.
Of course, because you want to drop a rock on
You literally cannot go onto the property
without a steel toe.
Without a safety vest, some kind of like glassware, a hard hat, and steel-toed boots. And they want you to be like, and you should wear jeans. And you're like, but it's like July. It's like, yeah, and it's like 110 down there. You should wear jeans.
Yeah, because you need it. And not even like skinnies. You're going to need denim. You're going to need capital D denim.
You want like Dickies clothing.
Yeah, right.
You want like coveralls and big denim. But that's what I did for 2 summers in a row. Well, the first summer I was actually just scanning in gigantic pictures into their system, because they were trying to turn all of their aerial shots of their land into a digital interface.
Oh.
And they thought it would take me the whole summer. But I was so bored. I got done with it in a month. And I foolishly told them I finished it.
Oh, yeah.
I should have lied.
Yeah.
But instead, they were like, oh, we don't really have much for you to do. And I'm like, mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, I could like put the images over your parcel land maps and like make it so you know exactly where the lines of the thing are. And like, okay, yeah. And then I did it. And then they had like this beginning Google Earth beta. And you could literally I could take our like line drawings of the parcel of land, and that's what a piece of land is called, a parcel. Has a parcel number. And I would look up our parcel numbers. I'd find the numbers, and I would actually go and pin them onto the Google Earth thing that we had.
Oh, wow.
And I was just doing it because I'm like, I don't know, what's the point of having all these if you can't see where they are in relation to each other?
Totally.
And then the owner, or like the president, came by, because everyone loved my dad. My dad's a great employee, great worker. I was like, what are you working on? I was like, oh, I'm working on this. And I showed him what I was doing. He's like, who told you to do that? I'm like, well, nobody. I just thought you might want it. And he's like, I do. Can you actually show me how to use that? I'm going to use it in a presentation. I was like, cool.
Okay.
So I did that. And then
so
the next year.
you wrote Google Maps, essentially.
He actually made Google Maps.
Yeah.
The auteur.
And then the next summer, I was supposed to do the same thing, but I was a temp. I wasn't even an intern. I was a temp.
Right.
So I was like an hourly thing, but they had real interns. But one of the interns, a couple of interns was very smart. One of the interns was an adult. And then they came by, and they were just like,
you suck.
They were just like, Keith, I know you're a temp, but you're just going to do what the interns are doing, because we don't trust this other guy.
That's so funny.
So you're going to go. And so I was like leading their interns on these like expeditions through various places. And we drove the company trucks, got to drive these big old trucks.
Love
now, the coolest thing I never got to do, but I want to do someday, in a quarry are the largest trucks on Earth. These are, no exaggeration. These are where the largest trucks on Earth are. And
how big is the largest truck?
The tire is 4 times my height for one wheel.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was not what I was picturing.
That's a big truck.
I'll pull up a picture for you.
And we should put a picture in the video.
You can't even fathom the size of what a truck could be.
Because they don't even need to go on the road.
They're bigger than the road.
They'll break the road.
Yeah, they'll break the road because they're too big.
Yeah, you ever seen how like roads have like weight limits?
Yeah.
That literally is because the amount of like the rock can't support certain weights, a little crack. Like if you put like a bunch of bowling balls on your coffee table, eventually it'll crack, right?
Yeah.
Same with a road. Put too many bowling balls on it.
Put too many bowling balls on it, it's going to crack. Honestly, this big hill that's in front of us, it makes me want to throw a bowling ball just and see where it happens.
I wish we had brought a bowling ball to the plug today.
And that's why I always try to pack a bowling ball, but I forgot today. First day in a year that I forgot. I'm like, you might need a bowling ball.
It's got to be in the plug bag from now on.
Yeah, plug bag. Really heavy plug bag.
So maybe it's more like 2 of me.
Oh my God, that's fucking gigantic.
That
is so
huge.
big.
They're big old dump trucks.
That is crazy.
It's wider than the 2-lane road it's trying to drive on.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Look at that big truck.
Big truck.
When you drive that, you do feel awesome, I bet.
You feel awesome. I want to.
Yeah.
I wanted to drive it, but obviously I did not have whatever kind of license.
Every day
have
you start the day
license.
by going, can I drive the truck today?
Okay, you need me to move that?
Can you move that truck? No, Keith.
Okay.
No moving the truck.
I can move it, I bet.
Oh, so you were almost a world professional miner.
Oh, yeah. When I was graduating, when I was leaving because I was going to like go back to college and I would start my normal career.
Yeah.
They were like, well, you know, if after college, I know you wanted to be a performer, but if that doesn't work out, I mean, you'd have a job here.
Wow.
And I'm like, what would I do
I don't wanna
here?
be a
I
miner.
don't want to do this. I mean, I worked in the offices.
Yeah, right.
And the office was all very like corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was like, he worked at mines and he was an underground mining engineer, but
Yeah.
he like designed underground mines.
That's so cool.
So he would like,
Whoa.
literally do the CAT. He would use CAT, which is like a architecture something
Oh,
software.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And he would like scope out and he have to know like how thick does the stone need to be for how
That is
big
a
of a hole they
high-stakes
can dig
job.
around it and
Yeah,
how much
right.
wall between them and whatever water source is on the other sides of this wall.
It's safe to, yeah.
Yeah, he was very smart. Good at math.
Wow.
Good at math.
That is
Kind
a
of
lot
guy.
of math to be done.
Yeah, and but everyone else there. I mean, there were people like doing like payroll and accounting and like other big ideas and like acquisitions of other mines and like researching if what they wanted to buy it or sell properties. It was the logistics office side,
Yeah,
and there was also
interesting.
something called beautification, which is a department where
Me.
when a mine
That's
is,
literally
Where I
Rainie's
wanna
department.
work.
it's literally. Cities hate when mines are in their cities because
Oh,
they're
so you make it pretty?
ugly. Literally, you make
Oh.
it pretty.
Like shrubs.
So
or-
like when you close a mine, you like literally cover it with shrubs
No
and
way.
beautiful plants and turn it into a park so that people are like,
That's fine.
so
Well,
and
that's
you
not
can
so
like
bad.
say like, okay, yeah, I know this big hole sucks, but in 10 years we're going to build you this beautiful park. And
yeah.
they'll literally design it and show you the pictures of this is what it will look like.
Oh.
And we're going to make
Wow.
sure it can become this at the
That's
end
really
of its
cool.
life when we're done depleting it of all of its precious, precious stone.
Precious rocks.
You know the funniest thing about mines?
Is this your stand-up? All right, guys. You know the funniest thing about mines
is that when you're mining for one material, if you find another cool material, it's useless to you. So
Oh, no.
and it's great because
Huh.
if you're like digging for one thing and suddenly you find a big bed of crystals,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're like, well, I don't need these crystals.
But somebody does.
Give them away.
Give them away.
Yeah, they're not. That's not what they're looking for. That's not what they
Right.
want.
They're looking for
They're not going to
stones.
sell them?
They won't make it. Well, this a few
It's
$100.
too much work.
That doesn't matter to
Versus
them.
the thousands of pounds of
Yeah,
limestone
that's
or
not what
whatever.
they're there for.
Yeah, right.
So every so often they'll find deposits of other stuff, and it's just like perks to the employees. Like, hey, we found all. There's like this.
We found a
It
diamond.
was just
Backyard
They
full of
won't find
rocks.
diamonds typically, but they might like find an area where some crystals have grown between the water source and them. Like, oh, we got some crystals today.
Oh, that's
I mean, this is
so
very rare because normally
interesting.
you know what you're finding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's what the actual funniest part is that when you look for it's a funny word.
Okay, stay tuned, guys.
It's
We're gonna take an ad
funny.
break.
I probably talked about this before in some video in my life, but when they're looking for where to dig a mine, let's say they thought like, I think there might be something cool under this property that we're on right now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What they'll do is they'll dig a hole 100 feet deep. That's about this wide.
Yeah.
And they'll pull out the hundreds
A
of
big
feet
core.
of stone of the core. And you know what it's called? Boring. Because it's
Boring for stone.
boring
Yeah.
out, and they're
Oh.
and they'll do it like every 100 feet or so, and then they'll have a good survey of what's the underground rock look like. They can put they'll
Yeah,
put like
they can,
here's
like, draw
3 feet deep to 20 feet deep here is this kind of soil. Is that consistent over there? Because over here from 50 feet deep to like 500 feet deep is all the shit we want.
Yeah.
But it's not worth the money of digging it up unless it's like that.
Everywhere.
Several hundred
Yeah.
feet in every direction, so we know there's a big deposit to dig.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll find a small deposit, but the cost of getting that out is more than the cost of selling that material.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, well, speaking of rocks, Keith, behind us we've got some big old rocks here.
Yeah.
What do you think was in here? Monkeys or?
I think that this might have been like one of those not peacocks, but like, oh, we're
Turkeys?
a zoo. No, like we're zoo. You know, like
Sorry, I don't know what you mean. But what do you mean? It's just say that
Sorry,
one more
can
time.
you do that one more time
We're a
for us?
zoo. We're a zoo. And she said it
Some of
twice.
those animals that are like, we're a zoo.
Yeah, like an ostrich.
no, it's like people come in and they see this big rock foundation and they're like, wow.
So you're
Yeah.
saying that they're sort of like the prize hens. People are coming in and they're going, whoa, look at that
we're in a
big
zoo now
hippo.
for sure.
We're definitely at the zoo. I actually have noticed that they put their show pigs up front.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
zoo, so you can see.
I'm gonna look up a photo because I think that this isn't even just me thinking. I think I saw a photo of the old zoo, and this was old zoo in 1960s.
Right.
No, Keith, you're distracted by. There's a woman wearing an outfit that is like a go-go dancing outfit, but I'm wondering if it is her outfit or something that they are shooting that requires her to be in that outfit.
They're shooting a music video over there for sure.
That's 100%.
Cool. I've seen lots of people shoot music videos over here.
It's free.
It's
Not
free.
Really.
Well, it's cheap probably, and you could probably get away with it for free. And
oh, I was wrong.
What was here?
Guess what
Monkeys?
it is. Guess
what is it?
Pigs.
Pigs. Hippos.
Pigs.
Lions.
It's really cool.
Wait. Okay. Flamingos. Got to be flamingos, right?
Oh, the little red raccoon, red foxes. What are the little?
Oh, I wish. No, it's a polar bear.
Way too small location for poor things.
Those poor things. There's no water.
We're in a tiny location, by the way. A polar bear?
I did say it was colder up here, though.
It is a little cooler. Cool enough for polar bears? Man, polar bears are so spooky.
Look, I didn't see that at first.
I thought you saw like a person.
I thought you saw a polar bear.
I was because the polar bear was coming out of this door, and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's water behind that. There is a door in there.
Yeah, you can climb up some stairs and get to a spooky spot if you want.
But I think it's locked.
I'll go find out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I think we got to explore.
Keith.
Now, this is, we're sort of urban exploring in a lot of ways.
In most.
Well said, Rainie. I do like that. I see on TikTok sometimes these people that are like exploring abandoned areas and stuff.
Oh,
and I'm like,
yeah.
that is really cool. It's so dangerous.
That could be a new brand for you.
I could be an urban explorer.
Going live exploring.
Hey, what's up? We're live.
When
We're
I was
exploring
little,
the abandoned sugar factory.
I explicitly wanted to be an explorer, and I kind of am now.
It is pretty cool. What do you say, Keith?
Yeah, you can't go in there, but maybe Rainie can wiggle through.
You think Rainie can wiggle through the wiring?
Send our bravest soldier.
Get tetanus from the gate? From the gate?
Wow.
Our bravest. We're sending one of our bravest, our finest, Rainie. I like the idea that if aliens attacked, it's like we've assembled a team of our greatest human beings. We have all these physicists and leaders of things, and of course, Rainie. And you're like, hey guys, so happy to be here. Really excited.
I'm the personality.
Personality hire for the alien defense team.
I don't think you should wriggle your body through there, but I think you could.
What's on the other side, do you think?
Spooky stairs.
Polar
You can
bears?
actually see what's on the other side.
Oh,
It's terrifying looking stairs.
I'm going to take the video.
Man, coming to a park, I don't really have enough time. I mean, I'm sure you're the same way. I don't have time to come to a park, but it is really nice to be here.
I guess I probably will start bringing the kid to the parks more often.
That's one thing I've started doing is like having the baby when I'm like, okay, great. Like Sarah's getting an appointment, whatever. It's just me and the baby. It's a good excuse to go somewhere I don't normally go. Often that is coffee or ice cream or a little treaty. But I think a park is another great place to go.
Okay, Rainie, you ready to report back with if it looks like a place to be kidnapped and forced to do heroin?
Scary.
No way. Oh my God. Well, I have to obviously
go
see.
You've got to go
going.
look.
Okay, I got to go.
Do you think this will reach?
All right, I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. Should we all go together? Well, no. It's over. We're done.
Everyone can take a look. I mean, you showed the audience.
I can't believe. I wonder. So what was
I told
there?
you it was scary. I think that just went up to
the
where
trainers
the trainers would come down. There must have been a facility.
All right, let's go explore. I'm inspired.
Okay.
Let's hit it.
Should we go to the next pen over?
Here, I'll take the GoPro and I'll film you two, and then Keith, you film us two.
We'll just sort of get a little bit of everything.
We'll get a little
and
bit of it
often
all.
maybe no one will see any of us.
So
let's check this next
We're not
pen.
the only filmers here. Should we
No, there's people shooting a music
shouldn't
video.
talk to them.
We're shooting a music video. We should walk by. They're working.
Let's go walk and look. Let's take a look.
They're working, guys. We don't want to.
We don't wanna-
I think
we're not
actually,
gonna
unless we can
disturb
get
them.
through this gate, which I think we might be able to.
You think this one?
Yeah, because I think that there's one that I've gone up through. No, this gate's closed too.
Let's give it a try. Give it a try. Give it a try.
You think we're gonna be able to go
Is
in?
it open?
Because that other gate, it could have opened, but like a piece had been broken.
Rainie, what
so
do you
that
think
it
was
couldn't.
kept here?
I think meerkats. What do you think?
I think it's gotta be the meerkats for me.
Well, I'm just thinking of the Denver Zoo, and the meerkats were just about here.
This is bolted
Locked.
shut.
Locked.
Locked.
Bolted.
Locked.
They do not want us to come here.
Honestly, podcast at Urban Exploring
That's a series.
is literally very good. Keith, have you ever urban explored into an abandoned facility?
I never urban explored at all, I don't think.
I went
or I
once
guess I have if I've gone on a walk.
I went once to an abandoned retirement home that everyone said was really haunted, and it was scary.
What about this mini pen?
What'd you see there?
It was spooky. It had like a bunch of spooky stuff in there, But I think most of the I see. No, there's bars.
But let's try it.
You want to try it?
Let's try it.
The abandoned retirement home was really spooky, and it was just like
God, this is so scary looking.
This is terrifying, and this is also like it's a very small enclosure with not very much sunlight on it.
I think that's
here
probably
was a
why
chupacabra.
What was kept here?
It also kind of smells like
Chupacabra.
pee.
Well, I think someone's probably been peeing in here, Keith.
Someone.
Hence
Somebody
why it
lives
smells.
up there. Yee.
It's a spooky area.
Let me out!
But I will say, a lot of times an abandoned facility is more dangerous not because of what's there, but because of who might be there.
Oh well, yeah.
Whoa.
It's the quintessential question: would you rather be hunted by a bear or a human?
Oh, bear.
Bear.
Yeah.
Actually,
I could trick a bear.
I could overpower a human.
You can throw a steak at a bear. If you throw a steak at a human, he's not going to stop.
Oh, they are shooting, so we should go around where they're
We'll go
shooting.
around. Wow, look at
So
the
we don't
haze.
interrupt.
Hell yeah.
Fog machine.
This is sick, though.
Wow.
Damn.
Like a DJ setup. So cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is really cool, actually. I like that a lot.
Dude,
One time I was at this bar,
this
I wanna
is
be a part of
crazy
it.
sick.
and this guy started talking to me.
I want to be a part of this.
I
Can we
know.
ask if we can join their show instead?
I guess we might. We might
Do they need any other
to.
dancers?
You need any
That's really
backup?
wild what they're up to.
I mean,
over
she
there.
must be the DJ as well.
I think that they're all
She's
the
only
DJ.
hold on. Can we just stop for a second and just like
You wanna stop?
gawk?
Well, I think if we gawk, it's a little rude, Keith.
Cool.
Okay.
So cool.
It's really
I
cool.
gave him a smile nod,
you doing?
so they know I was a respectful gawker.
Keith is respectful. Hey, honestly, Keith, I think you could get that tattooed on your body.
Respectful
The
gawker.
respectful gawker.
Respectful gawking only, please.
All right, we're walking by a generator here.
It's for them.
It's about to get loud.
I want to hear their DJ set.
I don't think they're going to play. I think they're just going to get the shot.
But they had tower speakers.
Well, I think that's just for the shot.
Wow, look, it's beautiful. Should we go on a hike?
I think we
I
should.
kinda think that
so
would be fun.
we can go up here above the
Oh, this is where the stairs go.
above the cages. This is where the stairs go.
So this is, I mean, it's a small zoo.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that there was more cages, but they destroyed them.
Oh, got it.
And I think there were probably some like pens in that middle area, maybe, you know, that were like for chickens and stuff that doesn't
The
need
petting
to be.
zoo.
I gotta be honest, seeing a chicken at the zoo is depressing to me.
What if it's an international chicken?
Well, I will say at international zoos they have deer. Like
Yeah.
in Japan,
Whoa.
because that's like a less common thing.
It's cool.
And
it's
for
like how
us-
kangaroos are really cool to us.
Yeah, and they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Kangaroos are everywhere.
Yeah.
When we went to Australia, they were everywhere.
They were everywhere.
So cool though.
Like rats.
they were like little
Ooh, look at that
rats.
door. I wish I could go in there.
That is a scary door.
Yeah, it's a spooky little door.
I do think, Keith, there's a lot. I think that Hunger Games in Real Life Try Guys edition, where
At
I
the
hunt
abandoned zoo.
you for
And you're
sport.
covered in grease.
By the way, we got to incorporate the grease into it somehow.
Oh, yeah.
This is wild.
Whoa.
How do
No,
the
except for
people
the
with the
horse
spray
poop.
paint get in there?
What's that?
How are the people with the spray paint getting in there?
Well, I think that it used to be open, and then people got hurt falling down the stairs or
You
something.
know, I bet people are just climbing over the entire enclosure itself.
Oh yeah, if you just climb
like-
this thing, you'd be able to hang out.
yeah, you
over
wiggle
there.
right through there. That's how we get here. You wiggle right there.
Wait. Oh,
See?
you go in between?
See
In
the
between
bramble
them?
down
Climb
there?
over and you wiggle through the bramble.
And then you come up here and you get up here, you do spray paint, do your art.
All you need is like a rope ladder. You just toss that.
You
Yeah,
could
Rainie,
also,
I want you to describe how you would get in.
Yeah,
So you're gonna
okay.
throw a grappling hook.
Everybody-
You throw a grappling hook over.
So actually, I throw. Okay, so I've got a rope ladder with long, long legs at the top of it. You know, I throw the rope over that. It's long enough so that the other end of the rope comes down here. I tie it so it's a loop, and then all of a sudden
But then-
I'm climbing up.
yeah, I guess as long
I
as you tie
really like that, Rainie. Honestly, throwing a rope over, you tie it like the loop, and then you get over. It's probably pretty
or
easy.
it could make like a little like treadmill ladder.
Honestly, a good
Oh yeah.
good Try Guys video is also. I could probably climb that.
And it's a good Try Guys series.
You series where you see something, you go, I could probably get
I
up.
could
No,
probably-
not even climb that. I could probably get up there.
I can get in
Oh
there.
my gosh, that's really good.
I can get in there.
It's like a water tower. Or honestly, it's the same idea we had when we were in the other park, where it was like just seeing a point in the distance, going, I could probably get there, and then
Oh,
it's
how long?
who can get there faster.
Race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a race.
I think that's a
a race.
great video. And then we can you have mics as you're doing it. So you're like, okay, so here's my plan, and you edit it in a way that's really fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think right.
The
Right.
edit's
Actually,
gonna be
we're-
hard.
that would
actually-
be, and
we're
that,
gonna-
that would be essential to making the video.
No,
I
we're
think.
actually gonna not use mics.
We're
for that
actually
video.
gonna do it live, and it's gonna be one take. And then Rainie goes, and we're gonna edit it and then make it sound really good.
And maybe
Yeah, we're gonna.
it's gonna be a live event where you can come watch us, and we'll
That
tell
would be
each
so
audience
embarrassing.
member 1-to-1 what
Yeah.
our plan is.
And Rainie said, and you're gonna be wearing mics.
Watch out, there's poop right behind you.
I don't want to step on the poop.
No, you don't.
There were more cages somewhere.
I think they're up here.
I don't know. Oh, are they?
I think that they are around in the mountains up here. See, this is a little cage, I think. Or used to be.
This maybe
This
it
little
was. It was a
concrete
sad cage.
Yeah.
They had the saddest bear ever.
Oh, there's a cage.
Yeah, see, there's a couple
Whoa.
things up here.
That's a big cage.
This doesn't feel like the fun zoo anymore, though.
This feels
Yeah,
like
down there was
down
fun
there
vibes.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is kind of the underside, the
Underbelly.
underbelly.
Are we really going to make the whole walk to see these animals? That's always the choice you have to make at a zoo.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, I see on the map that
Well, I mean, they hit you in the
puffins are
face.
fucking forever
They
away.
hit you in the face with the polar bears. Right out the gate, you're getting one of the gold animals.
Those are the prize hams.
yeah.
They're saying you're going to love
They're
polar bears
giving
so
them
much
away.
you're gonna
Yeah.
come back. But
Yeah.
then,
You got to work to get all
You
the way
should
up here
really-
just
yeah.
to see the ducks.
You better work to see the ducks.
Better work.
See also ducks, guys? Come on.
I wonder if
There should be a
this looks more
guardrail
like a bobcat.
Should be a guardrail here. This is
Although
unsafe.
the bobcat could get through that for sure.
Think so?
I think so, depending on how
this
big a
looks like
bobcat
a live
is.
cage with a bobcat in it. Why is this so?
Why is it like this?
This is
I
like,
think the sediment just ate this building up.
okay, this is crazy, but you can get inside the cage.
Okay, so you
let's
guys
get a
go in,
thumbnail.
and I'll take a photo.
Should we
Yeah.
get a thumbnail?
This is the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Let's all get in here.
Get it as
Everybody,
wide as possible. probably.
everybody be careful. Watch out for whatever that is.
Oh, Jesus, that's tetanus on a stick. Go ahead, Rainie.
Don't stand up when you get in here, Miles. You can't fit.
We're going to send our
Bravest. in the
bravest and
cage.
brightest.
If somebody ran through. Okay.
And you need to put zoo so people don't think we're in prison. That's not a good look.
Perfect.
Okay, here we go.
Watch your eyes.
What? Watch your
Watch your
eyes.
eyes.
Eyes are definitely the most important. If something pokes your eyes, I mean, how do you guys? I want to start wearing contacts because I don't really like how my face looks with glasses, but I'm way too scared.
Really, Rainie, that's interesting to me because to me, your glasses are an iconic part of your face.
Wow, thank you. I mean, but I've only started really wearing glasses regularly, like at this shop, like before, because my vision has been declining, unfortunately.
You know what? I'll speak from my own personal experience.
Yeah.
I feel that now that I've started wearing glasses, even though I have a very slight magnification, negative 0.75,
Very nice.
extremely slight.
Lucky.
I feel that my face looks nicer / more me with glasses on.
Yeah, I remember when you started wearing glasses, and I was like, "Were you not before?"
I wasn't before, but everyone was like, "You've worn glasses forever," and I was like, "No, it just feels like I'm more me." But Rainie, you're saying you feel more Rainie
I think
without.
my face gets a little rounder with glasses. And you know, it's something interesting when you take off glasses after you've been wearing them for a while. Your face looks like wacky, like anybody's face.
Yes, it's
you know,
weird.
I don't
Well,
know
your
why
eyes
that
look
is.
different because your eyes are being magnified or not.
Uh-huh.
You know, my
Right.
eyes are like heavily smaller through my glasses.
Yeah.
When I take them off, my eyes are way bigger looking.
Oh my
that's
gosh,
so
your eyes are
interesting.
huge.
They're huge eyeballs.
Big
They don't
guys.
look at me. Look at me, audience.
I mean, big eyes.
But
Oh,
then
yeah.
I put them on, and my eyes shrink.
I've never thought about it like that, Keith.
Yeah.
Well, that's wise.
So it really does change how your face looks.
Well, the same with the beard. I'm like, I don't think I could ever exist without a beard.
I really think you should do it for a week.
It's
so fun.
It's gonna
It's
make
not a
me-
week.
It's not, but this beard will take way longer than a week to grow.
Yeah.
But it will. It just changes my face so much. I look way younger.
Cover your beard in latex and make it look like your jaw.
I could bleach my beard.
Oh,
There you go.
That's
What
big.
if I went blonde?
I think that could really work. For
I
you.
know that that's what cool people are doing these days.
Yeah.
And I just think it'd be like a hilariously dramatic choice to be like, I'm blonde now.
Well, you'd have to cut your hair too. I think. I don't think you can have wavy. Well,
Long blonde hair.
you could. I'm picturing you as Fred from Scooby Doo.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
interesting.
yeah, with the
The
ascot
problem
and
is the
everything.
beard and the eyebrows would be dark brown.
Can we get another chance to snoop?
Yeah, let's spy on this. Well, the generator's going to make this unusable. I know that, selfie sticks have gone out of
So
fashion.
many
but
holes.
For the plug, the selfie stick
Oh,
would actually be...
100%. We should get a selfie stick.
Because then we can just have a wide shot.
Yeah.
This is kind of wide, I'm sure.
I mean, it's kind of wide, but having a
Super
like
wide.
aerial view.
You're right. A
I will
0.5,
say,
as the kids
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Never
A
have I
0.5?
felt more mini. Because you guys are like, being in between you guys has just a different effect. I'm like, oh, I've got my bodyguards.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
I'm being
Don't
escorted.
talk to her.
Don't you mess with Rain.
Don't you talk to her. Don't even look at her.
Don't even mess with
And watch
Rain.
out for the whoo. There you go. You got it.
Break my ankle.
Yeah.
There were lots of little like gopher holes back there.
Yeah, Sarah's mom was worried about the gophers, so she would always not hand out candy on Halloween.
She was worried about the gophers on
She was
Halloween.
worried a kid would fall. She was like, we've
Oh.
got gophers, and she didn't want a kid to break their ankle and then sue her.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I do. Like there's a part of my yard that's harder to like walk by, so I tried to put lights in an area that was the easiest part to walk through, so that no one would trip and hurt themselves.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's dark and
Dark.
you're wearing a mask. You can't see. Didn't want anybody getting hurt.
For Halloween, I don't know if I even brought this up. I did this last Halloween as well, but I wore a rat mask and a trench coat.
Yeah.
And I waited in the bushes at my friend's house, and we did the whole front yard up for him. It was like a sign that says candy with a big arrow, and like we did all these colorful lights and spooky music, and then I would like wait in the bushes and just like walk up behind kids. I wouldn't even jump out at them.
Yeah, you don't need to be.
I would just be still, and it was so fun.
There's lots of scary out there.
Yeah.
Doesn't always have to be jump scary.
And then if the kids were really scared, if they were like little, I would like wave and give them a thumbs up.
Hey, I'm a friendly rat.
I was a friendly rat because I didn't want to be too scary.
I'm like Chuck E. Cheese's cousin.
I didn't want them to be like, I can't sleep at night because I'm so scared of this.
Let's not walk right through this.
Have you guys
muck.
seen the Nutcracker with the rat?
Oh, it's
the king rat.
The rat
pretty
king.
scary.
It is pretty scary.
Yeah.
I would love to see
rare.
it. It's pretty rare. I mean, that soundtrack
Swan
though
Lake
is gorgeous.
also kind of spooky.
Nutcracker's really long, I got to tell you.
I used to watch it every year because my sister was in it every year.
It's so fucking long.
I know, but honestly, I kind of love it.
I'm
coming out pro.
I like it for the first hour, and then after intermission, nothing I want.
Oh, you've got to see a children's performance because that's
Yeah.
what I was watching. It was not that long. I think they must have shrank it a little.
Right at the intermission's right when I want to go home.
Yeah. If I were like really rich in the sense of like owning a house with a backyard,
Yeah.
I would be going to all
I got
sorts
one of those, I guess.
all sorts of performances, and if I didn't like it, I would leave it halfway.
I agree, by the way. And I think that if you have an intermission,
I'm
you better
100%
earn it. If you have an intermission, you better fucking earn it. That's all I got to say.
All right, we're going to cut.
Go back in the car.
We'll see you in the car.
We thought about the other day. Keith eats everything at edible arrangements. What do we think about that?
Oh my God, you'd be so sick. It's like so much nasty candy.
I know. Well, and mostly it's fruit, and then there's also candy. But the thing is, they use the same 5 fruits in every basket.
It's
So
the same fucking thing. It's just differently shaped,
it's
right?
it's one of those. It's a great thing to say out loud. It's a terrible idea to execute.
Unless it's a TikTok.
That's you found it.
There you go. Unless it's short, then and low budget, then it's good to do.
We always used to have a joke of like, we're going to go to edible arrangements and order a couple of arrangements for here.
Oh, it's time to be real, and I
that's right.
do think we should
We'll
get
take a
one.
table.
You think we got to be getting real?
I think we
don't
got to get one
be
for
real.
Instagram. All right.
Get what for Instagram? Would be real?
Yo, yeah.
They don't like you cross-posting Be Reals, I thought.
What do you mean?
Be Real doesn't like when you post Be Reals other places. I believe.
Really?
This one's
I believe.
great. Oh. Well, I
are they
can't
gonna-
worry about them. Worry
I
about
can't worry
yourself.
about
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
think they'll do anything to you. I think they just go like,
They're like, oh,
we're trying to
don't do
keep it
that.
all cool and trying to be weird.
Yeah, they are kind of the hipsters of the social media movement.
I did, in that I hung out with them a little bit and then stopped hanging out with them years ago.
Let's see. So we just went, okay, so for context, because we kind of didn't talk about the zoo as an entity.
Yeah.
Mostly we talked about mining.
Yeah.
Mostly we talked about limestone. Tune in for our limestone app.
It
Yeah.
opened in 1912.
Cool.
Many of the enclosures were built in 1930 as part of the New Deal's Work Progress Administration.
Ooh.
But wait, what did it look like in 1912?
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
Well, people didn't have TV back then, Keith.
That's true. So
Oh,
couldn't-
they didn't have a camera.
They
So
couldn't
they were going
record
to the
it.
zoo all the time.
Did anyone paint it?
Paint the town red. Closed in 1966. Wait, is that about killing people? Sorry.
I don't.
I think it is.
I think
It
I
is?
thought it was about having fun.
Paint the town red.
Like,
Like,
paint the town
said
red.
what I
Like
said.
I've been all over the
Very
town.
famous instead.
Well, she didn't make up that. You know that she didn't make that up, right?
The song?
No, the slogan.
The phrase.
Paint the town red.
What is paint the no? Or well, I feel like people are like Rainie is like pretends that she doesn't know stuff, but, in the comments, but I don't know what that saying is.
Paint the town red is no. I'm not saying that you should, but I'm just saying Doja did not make up the term paint the town red. But I think it means like we're gonna go out and have a big night.
Yeah, we're gonna go to lots of places and do lots of things and see lots of sights. We're gonna paint the town red.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up. Red meaning.
Well, I think if you just type in red,
Meaning red
Oh,
meaning
yeah.
it's a color.
Go out and enjoy oneself flamboyantly.
There you go.
That sounds fun.
Jubilantly.
paint the
Jubilantly.
town red.
Rainey, are you worried that people think you pretend to not know stuff?
Yeah, I think they're like, this is bad content. Like, she doesn't know what everybody knows. Like, it's boring, which I do get. But then sometimes
I
it's
don't
like,
think that that's true.
She doesn't know what everybody knows.
She doesn't know what everybody knows.
it's like, when somebody's like, oh, I haven't seen that movie, and it's like, okay, well, that's boring, kind of. Like, I'm talking about the movie. I want you to have seen it.
Rainie, I think that you're an icon and a star.
Thank you so much, Miles.
And you don't need to be concerned with these people who are worried that you don't know what Paint the Town Red means.
Thank you. But, so why do you guys think that it closed down and moved? Oh, wait, I guess we already solved it in the beginning. That was my mystery that I set up in the beginning, but I guess you guys kind of case closed it immediately. You were like, yeah, well, it was probably just a better location.
It's probably a different zoo. Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean, what I like about it is that they didn't tear it down, and they were like, this is a national park now. There is an interesting element, Rainie, that I like about history, and it's interesting because the abandoned zoo reminds me a lot of when I went to Italy, and I was in Rome, Keith.
Oh.
And I went to the Colosseum, Keith.
Oh.
And Rainie. And it was very interesting to see these sort of ancient tomes of like, wow, this, I don't know. This is just such a different
How'd they
time.
do this?
How the fuck
they
did they
didn't
pull
even
this
have
off?
a truck the size of 6 men.
Exactly. And I find that it's very, I don't know. I really love a museum, and especially I love like a ruins. Because it elicits this feeling of like, oh, one day someone may be looking at like, you know,
my apartment.
My apartment, and they're like, people used to
lived
live here long ago.
I
And
also
now,
gotta say
you know,
the word ruins.
Ruins.
Really intense description word.
Yeah.
Like,
Ruins.
These are the ruins. This is what's left.
Very
It's
negative.
been ruined.
Very
been
neggy.
Time has gobbled it.
Time has, yeah.
The elements have
Sometimes,
destroyed.
though, I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that zoo ruined. I'd say it's a little beaten down, but not ruined.
Well, it's
not
also not
ruined.
protected. Like in the
Yeah.
it's just covered in graffiti. Whereas like in in Rome, like it's just like literally like all that is left from so fucking long ago.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds,
Hundreds
if not
and-
thousands
yes.
of years ago.
Thousands, I believe. I mean, I don't even know, but
I don't think it's that. I don't know. What were they doing back in 1000?
I'm no historian, Keith. I just have an Italian nose. But it was a long time ago.
You know, no one ever talks about what happened in the year 1000. You always hear 1200.
Yeah.
You hear 850.
Yeah, 1000.
What was going on at their turn of the millennia?
It was their 2000.
Yeah.
Remember? Because when
Yeah.
2000, we were like, this is crazy. Do you remember
Were
that,
they
Rainie?
even counting at that point?
12,000?
No, 2000. When it was 2000 and, the year 2000.
Oh, I remember being like, oh, that's such a huge deal. I think it was
Yeah.
3, so I don't know how much.
So,
that-
you know,
And who was the first guy who said, all right, scrap the books.
Yeah.
This is year 1.
Well, I believe it was like I don't know. We don't know anything.
Well,
But-
they base it sometimes off of, maybe they base it off Jesus. And maybe they do. But when
but it's not.
But when Jesus was born, they weren't like, oh, Jesus is born. It's year 1.
yeah.
That's not how anything works.
You know what? There's that question. If you could eat dinner with anybody in the world, who is your
Jesus?
dream?
You think Jesus?
Yeah, I think
Jesus would be a
I
good
have
one.
lots of. I wonder what he was like. His
Anyone
personality. He's a legend now.
in
but
the entire world, dead or alive? That's a good question.
yeah.
Anyone in the world, dead or alive, you could have, and what would the meal be? Because actually, that's going to depend.
I think
Is it tapas?
Fish and bread, if it's Jesus, he knew how to make that shit last.
He was a pescatarian.
Yeah.
it was a pescatarian.
But I think that it would probably be like, who's the most interesting person ever to talk to? That's really tough. Maybe Buzz Aldrin.
Are you into? So for me, astronauts don't tickle my fancy.
Oh, I think that it's so inspiring, honestly. And the reason I find it inspiring, Rainie,
Yeah.
is because it's like you were actually just saying you wanted to be an explorer.
Mhm.
I took this girl at a party and she worked on space modules that helped get different supplies to the space stations. And she was like, I work this job with all these other astronaut engineers, like people who work in space technologies, and we all consider ourselves to be explorers. Like the mentality is not that we're
Oh.
scientists. The mentality is that we are explorers and we are exploring something that is the only thing that we do not really have a grasp of. I guess you could argue the ocean, but there was like, that's like the exciting part about it is they're like, no, we're exploring space. So I find that part is very inspiring to me because it's like people daring to do something that is inherently very difficult, requires
Very
a lot of
dangerous.
science, very dangerous, but it's also like, it's everything. What happens outside of the Earth is so interesting because it gives us context to what's happening here.
It's true. Space has all the answers. I wish I could go, but now it's gotten very chuggy to go to space, hasn't it? All the
my
billionaires
God.
go.
Oh,
Now
that's a
it's
good
lame.
point.
It's lame.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
That's like, oh,
It's
you
like,
and Jeff
if
Bezos.
before it would be cool, and now it's like, well, only lame white guys go, and I could easily be described as that.
That's a good
so
point.
I can't go. Now
Yeah.
they're talking about there's going to be like space hotels or some shit like Xenon.
I want that to be like really dialed in before I go, because I don't want to be taking a piss and I get sucked out into the vacuum.
You don't want to be on like the Super 8 either. Right, you want to be in the Four Seasons Space Motel.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the budget space hotel. It does not feel safe to me.
Also, space bud bugs.
Like, you think they'll have internet?
I should. You're closer to the satellites there than you are here.
I was on a plane without Wi-Fi, and I gotta tell you, I was so upset.
Really? Because sometimes I get so relieved by that. Like when it's like, oh no, I have to leave my phone.
But it wasn't
on the table. You know?
I should clarify that it was also a flight that it was my little baby's first flight. So we were like, well, we're gonna need Wi-Fi so we can put on like a children's thing because he's obviously young as shit. But I'm like, if he's tweaking, we're gonna need him to be able to not tweak on the plane.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he can't play Switch yet.
Yeah, I was going to give him Mortal Kombat to sort of dial in on.
Because I don't need the internet, but I do have things I've downloaded from the internet already onto a thing that I can play with.
Well, that's why I thought the flight would have internet, so I was like, oh, I'll do that. And honestly, what happened was this is not interesting, but bear with me, guys, because it's going to get so interesting.
We're getting somewhere.
At the end, it's going to get really interesting. And stay tuned.
Huge twist.
I had downloaded it onto my, off YouTube, because I have premium, onto my account, but then I had switched the account. And you can't switch accounts offline.
Oh.
So it was on the other account on my phone.
Oh.
So close, but so far.
So close, but so far.
You did all the work leading up to it except that one little thing.
Why did you switch?
Because it was on my personal account, and then I was checking my podcast stats on the other account, and then I got on the plane, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was
You don't go into your podcast account from the same base account?
No, I do.
Oh.
But if I do, it's all based on the same Gmail or whatever. But the problem is that it's different accounts, like physically or whatever.
Weird.
I know.
Weird.
It was a hashtag bummer. Get it through it, dumber. I'm trying to get it.
Well, if you need some advice and you already know how to download information to your phone and be able to access it, maybe Miles could help you with advice. It'll go for Miles, his segment.
It's advice that'll go for Miles. Tune it to your radio station. It's advice that'll go for Miles. Everyone get ready, Miles Nation. Miles Nation, go. It's advice that'll go for Miles. Advice that'll go for Miles.
Ba-da-da-da-da. Have you ever wanted to have a nice little thing in your mouth?
All right, what could this one be?
I'm talking about a snack that's antioxidant. And it's basically better than fucking anything that you could possibly have for your body and your nutrition and your wellness. Okay, Rainie, spoiler alert, I'd like you to bleep out what you said. I'd like you to redact what you said because it wasn't that, but it was too close to what I'm about to advise on.
Yeah.
And I think that it'll spoil it for the listener because they're about to get award-winning advice from a guy who's made a career out of this shit.
Yes.
Somehow.
No spoilies.
No spoilies. Frozen blackberries.
Oh, yum.
Are a good little thing for you to suck on.
Suck on them.
I munch on frozen black. I mean, first of all, I munch on blackberries, and I think they're the best berry. And I know that that's subjective, and I don't even give a fart about it because it's what matters to me, not what matters to you.
When they're
Oh
good,
my gosh, yeah.
they're great.
I think a blackberry is really nice to have, and I think a blueberry can be good, but it's a risk. And I think a strawberry is also good, but it's a little tart.
What about
It's a
a
little mushy.
raspberry?
Can be mushy. Raspberries are fine to me, and I'm not trying to make here's the thing. Opinions don't have to be debate club, and I think blackberries are the best.
Yeah.
Okay, but raspberries with Nutella in the middle of the
Whoa.
raspberry.
How do you
So
do that
good.
with a syringe?
Yeah.
I've never had that before.
Yeah.
Rainie.
When I was speaking of internships, when I was in 11th grade, my school made you do an internship, and for some reason, somehow I got with this nutritionist who was actually really cool. Shout out if you're listening. And she went on 9 News to give her nutritionist advice, and that was my introduction to media. Was because I was preparing her segments, and one of the snacks I suggested, probably not that healthy, Nutella isn't that healthy, went on Pinterest.
By the way, absolutely unhealthy, but yes.
Went on Pinterest and found kind of quote unquote healthy snacks.
Yeah.
And I prepared them the night before at 9 News.
Yeah.
And I'll put a picture here of the snacks that I made because I took a photo, and that was like one of the very first photos I took on my iPhone.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So, anyways,
That's a good claim to fame.
Yeah.
And I would say a dessert, but delicious.
but a delicious dessert.
A delicious
and it
dessert.
doesn't always have to be,
Yeah.
it doesn't. Not everything has to be broccoli.
Well, no, and I don't think it does. But you said you worked for a nutritionist.
I know it is kind
making
of
healthy.
It's a good
snacks.
podcast show. Not everything has to be broccoli. Needs to be healthy with quotes around it.
Exactly. I will say, Rainie, to my intern story, I interned at a local newspaper.
Really?
And I did.
What did you report on?
One day, me and my friend Marnie went to we went to a fish fry at the senior center.
Oh.
And we wrote a scathing article. No, we just it was just like we took pictures and it was like local fish fry happens again. And it was like that was the scoop.
Happens again.
Did you interview some people there?
We did, and they were like, I come all the time.
That's so cute.
I do love a fish
That
fry.
is the news I want to read.
But anyway, what you're gonna want to do is absolutely have blackberries because they're really delicious to
And put them in the
have.
freezer to give them that extra je ne sais quoi.
They've just
Je ne
got
sais
it for me.
quoi.
And honestly, blackberries and yogurt has been the breakfast.
Oh, Greek?
Greek. Whole,
Mm.
fat, Greek.
Whoa.
Fat Greek.
Whole.
Well, Keith, hit him with the official tripod theme song.
We're gonna take a left on this street, we're gonna head back to our office, cause I gotta do something in a very soon short amount of time. I'm running late for a thing I totally
late.
forgot
Forgot about is the tripod.
Good ass week!